something you dreamt of since I was 5, and I'm finally here. I grew up watching this stuff on TV, so it's just a blessing and honor to be here, be amongst the rest of the best guys in the country.
What are your goals for the week?
Show these teams why they need to pick me. I think everyone else's goal is here is to do the same thing as well. You want to go as high as you can come draft day, and this is a perfect opportunity to show these teams why they should get you.
Do you have any expectation for where you might go? Not where, but when in draft you might go?
Nah, man. I'm out here just trying to go as high as possible. Do everything I can with my ability, whether that's speaking to coaches and doing all the medical exams and evals and stuff like that.
As a junior, you had 100 tackles, led the team by a lot in tackles. Obviously, the defense was better, which means the safety doesn't get as much. But how do you think you played last year in comparison, especially the junior year? I
feel like I did my job. That was something that was preached to us from day one. Do your job and do it to the best of your ability. And whatever my team needed, I was able to do willingly, 100%.
Ronnie, Zach mentioned that he was more worried about the interviews than he was the on-field stuff. Are you more looking forward to the interviews, or are you more looking forward to doing stuff on the field and showing things?
I think heading into, you hear a lot of stuff about the interviews and how rigorous it can be, but it was honestly a lot easier than I thought. The coaching staff at Ohio State have trained us, especially football-wise, when it comes to breaking down film, breaking down game plans and stuff like that. So to the guys that's going to be here next year at Ohio State, I promise you guys don't got to worry. You'll be fully prepared.
Ronnie, you came in when this was still a two-safety system, and then it was a single high safety, and then you were the bullet, and then you were the adjuster. That background, is that coming up at all in any of the conversations you're having with teams at this point, or as far as preparing you for what your role could be next?
Most definitely. I think you got to be fully available and durable in any position that you're required to play. Luckily, I was fortunate enough to play both, so I think it's an advantage on my side to have both of those defensive positions in my toolbox. I'm willing to play both. I'm able to play both at a high level, so I think it definitely helps my case.
Do you think you're better suited to play either free safety or strong safety?
No, I tell coaches wherever you need me, I'm gonna go out there and play. I was blessed and gifted athletically to do both of those things. So anywhere on the defensive side of the ball, I feel like I'm ready to play.
How much do you go up against CJ in practice help you prepare for the next level?
Tremendously. Confidence level through the roof. Not only CJ, but you got to think about the guys he's throwing to as well. So I've seen him make some of the craziest throws and put him in spots where you just kind of got to tip your hat off to him. But iron sharpens iron, and you go to a school like the Ohio State, that's what you're going to get day in and day out.
Have you got a chance to take Houston, Texas?
I have not.
What teams have you met with formally so far?
There's been a few. Can't really give the names of too many, but there's been a few.
Ronnie, you
Potentially playing with the Michigan guy at the next level.
Can you repeat that?
What do you think of potentially playing with the Michigan guy at the next level?
That's going to be my teammate at the end of the day, at the next level. You got to put that stuff behind you. We're on the field. That's going to be my brother, someone I got to trust, someone I got to depend on. And he's got to do the same for me. But the locker room conversations, I'll probably show, how I really feel and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that'll be my teammate.
Ronnie,
Can you say that again?
What would the conversation be like that weekend after Thanksgiving?
Probably can't say too much on the mic about it, but we'll have that conversation when that time comes.
You mentioned meeting with teams. What is it that you want teams to know about you?
Just I'm a player that can do it all. I'm gifted athletically. I was blessed to do some of the things I can on the field, but off the field, I feel like I'm a great teammate. I'm able to learn things. I'm able to be there for my guys. I feel like I know what it takes, and I'm willing to learn and do whatever it takes to help my team win and to better myself.
How frustrating was that end of your last season against Michigan, against Georgia, to not have the performance that you guys would have wanted in defense?
It hurts. It definitely hurts just because we know we felt like we left some things on the field that we could have changed and we could have done better to, win both of those games. But at the moment, that's in the past. I'm stepping into a new chapter of my life, and I've kind of been keeping the main thing, which is this right now.
What do you think just the future of Ohio State's secondary, what do you think that's going to look like next year?
Amazing. Those guys are going to be ready. Those guys are going to be prepared. Lathan Ransom, you got Josh Prock, you got Denzel, you got young guys coming up. The front seven's going to be off the charts. Those guys are hungry. They're highly motivated. And I'm excited to see them play. You guys should be too.
Which of those young safeties jumps out? Hey, we've talked a lot about Sonny and maybe Kai, but is that where it starts, or somebody else got your eye?
Outside of the starters, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sonny and Kai are just two guys that that are off the charts athletically. I mean, you've seen Sonny, and I think Kai's going to be a big eye opener as well. Those guys are willing to do whatever it takes to win. They've listened. They take the coaching well. So I'm super excited for those guys to have a really bright future.
Which one do you think fits more into what you've done?
That's hard to tell, man. Both of those guys can do it all. I mean, obviously Sonny's the bigger kind of build. So, he can drop down in the box a little bit more. Kai's a little bit faster, more rangy kind of guy. But they're interchangeable. So I'm super excited for those guys.
What about Kyle McCord? You obviously went against him quite a bit. What are your impressions of him?
Yeah, don't sleep on Kyle, man. That guy can sling it. I spent a lot of time with Kyle just because sophomore year coming up, when I wasn't with the ones, I was kind of getting looked at by him. But don't sleep on Kyle at all, man. That guy can put the ball where he needs to be. And he still has some great weapons. You guys know Marvin Harrison, Meg, JB, all those guys still coming back. So I'm super excited for that offense as well.
Did you go against Devin much?
I did a little bit, not too much. With him being a little bit younger, I took most of the rest with the ones and stuff like that. But Devin has a tremendous arm as well. He can put that ball pretty far out there. So it's going to be a great battle between those guys. And I'm sure Coach Dale will make the right decision.
Ronnie, where have you grown the most since that game in Atlanta?
Can you repeat that?
Where have you grown the most since that game in Atlanta?
Since that who?
The final game of the season in Atlanta.
I haven't had a game since, so I haven't really grown, I guess, on the field. But mentally, I've watched the game. I looked at the things that we need to look at, certain mistakes and certain things like that I can improve on. So I guess really just in the mental aspect of it.
Cam Brown is here also. He had struggled with injuries throughout his whole career. What would you want to say about him? I don't know if you've been in close contact with him.
Yeah, a guy who's never quit. Injuries are very common in this game. You see a lot of guys get injured and it kind of takes them or derails them off their path and why they started. But that he stayed through it. He's my roommate out here, so we've been chopping it up a lot. But that guy's amazing. On the field, off the field, I'm super excited for him.
What was the Senior Bowl experience like for you?
It was a lot, a very rigorous schedule. But like I said, I was very fortunate enough to be invited and be around some of the top athletes there. So it was a blessing to be invited.
Ronnie, you were the first Ohio State player with 100 tackles since Raekwon McMillan. Can you talk about the legacy that you left on?
I went in very humble, a young guy, and it was my dream school going there. So for you to, say that and say that I left something there, it's a huge honor, huge bless for me. There's been a lot of greats at The Ohio State. So just to be mentioned with one like Raekwon McMillan is an honor. I'm just grateful and glad that I was able to do something with my time being there.
Ronnie, have you met with the Cowboys yet?
I believe I have.
Informally or formally?
I believe it was informal.
Can you talk a little bit about if you had a chance to play with the Cowboys, what it would mean to join the secondary, coordinated by Dan Quinn? You got Trayvon Diggs playing right there in front of you. Lee Cooper, a former first-round pick, you can learn from Donovan Wilson, has taken another step.
For sure.
Playing alongside those guys.
I grew up watching the Dallas Cowboys a lot, so it would be an honor and a blessing to play for them. And they also got Micah rushing the quarterback too. So any guy in the back end appreciates a guy who can get to the quarterback like that. But it would be amazing and an honor to play for them.
You played in a really competitive high school conference in New Jersey. How do you think that prepared you for Ohio State and then now going into the NFL?
I was waiting for a Jersey question, but most definitely, the Big North is one of the toughest conferences I'd say in America. I'm very thankful for it. I played against some of the guys that I saw at the next level, some of the guys I'll see at this level as well. But just mentally and physically, playing week in and week out, you're going to play some D1 guys. You're going to play some guys who are coached well, trained well, mentally tough, physically tough. So I'm very thankful for it.
Are the Steelers one of the teams you've met with?
I have not. Not here, no.
What's the best advice you got going into the combine and who gave it to you?
Best advice. My agent, Andre Odo. Kind of the talk was just stay true to yourself. Be who you are. You've came this far. You're here for a reason. And don't kind of let the moment get too big. Just stay true to yourself. And that's pretty much what I've been doing, and I feel like I've been doing it pretty well.
Ohio State history.
From the Ohio State or just in the league in general? I've always looked up to my guy, Jordan Fuller. He's with the Rams now, but coming in as a freshman, he was a senior. He was a great mentor for me, someone that gave me a lot of access and knowledge to what it took to perform at a high level in college. And, he did the same thing at the next level, so he's always been a guy I looked up to. I think the biggest thing, he taught me was the off the field, the mental aspect of the game. Probably one of the smartest guys I've been around when it comes to just knowing the game of ball and his knowledge as far as that. When it comes to safeties and all, I look at the versatile guys, the Derwin James, the Jesse Bates, the Minkas, the guys who can do it all. It just looks like they're having the most fun out there. So that's what I really strive for.
High school lacrosse player, correct?
There we go.
Yeah. So, did you play any other sports in high school?
Nah, just lacrosse and football.
How do you feel like? Do you feel like there were any translatable skills or anything that you helped you development-wise from lacrosse and you were able to kind of incorporate into your?
Most definitely. I started playing lacrosse at 3rd grade, so it was definitely it was neck and neck with football up until I got to high school. But the lacrosse aspect is totally different. I played midi, so it just allowed me to up my game as far as vision. I was a pass-first guy in lacrosse, so I felt like my eyes were always on the move, and I feel like when it comes to playing free safety or playing in that back end, your head got to be on a constant swivel. You got to know where the defense is going to slide and stuff like that. So just little things like that. My footwork, especially when it comes to lacrosse, you got to be elite in that, and that obviously translates to football as well.
A particular coach in football or lacrosse who helped you really develop as you're coming up in high school?
For lacrosse?
Yeah.
Coach Joe Gillette. He played at UPenn. He's been a great mentor for me since 3rd grade. We've been locked in ever since. He's like one of those second father figures I had. He's really close to my parents, really close to my family. But Joe Gillette, for sure.
Did you say that you and Cam are roommates this week?
Yes, sir.
Did you want somebody other than someone you spent?
No. So I got in a day earlier than Cam, and I was calling his phone. I was like, "When you get in here, please tell me your room number," hoping that it was him, because you could get screwed with a guy who's snoring a lot, and it's just better to be with someone. I haven't seen Cam since we left college, so it's been great to catch up with him and everything.
Does that help alleviate some of the if there are nerves this week or uncertainty about what's going to happen? Having somebody
I'd say to an extent. It's always good seeing a familiar face. Someone you can talk to, someone who's been with you for the past few years and stuff like that. We've been able to talk about the same things and stuff like that, so it helps for sure.
This will be year 2 for
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think those guys will be a lot more poised out there. I think if you put guys in the same system again, just the confidence level goes through the roof. They played a full season with it. They're able to watch the film now from it and kind of build off of that. So anytime you can watch the film on certain things and knowing that it'll be the same thing next year, you can make some adjustments and things like that. For sure.
Do you have any explanation for what happened, especially in the last 2 games?
Explosive mental errors. I can go down the list on certain things, but it was just stuff that we can all improve on, and that those guys will improve on come this upcoming season.
Ronnie, biggest things that Terry Eliano did to help you get to this point?
A lot, man. I'm very appreciative for Coach E. One thing he taught us and pushed us from day one. He had a saying called unseen hours and unrequired work. So it's just the stuff you do outside of the facility, stuff you do off the field, the little things that matter to him. He made that very true. I see now the work that was put in and watching film and the mental aspect of the game helped me a lot when it came to meetings. He told us at a very early time that when I get to this level or when you get to the combine, how it's going to be in the meetings as far as knowing the D-line, the fronts, and everyone else's job. And that's just one aspect of it. But it's come to help me out during this time.
Have you met with the Chicago Bears?
I have.
What was it like for you playing against Justin Fields in practice?
Another great quarterback, another quarterback that can put the ball wherever he needed to put it. Luckily, we couldn't really go tackle him too much, so he didn't run too much, so we didn't see that. We kind of just seen his arm capability, and like I said earlier about CJ, it's just a guy who can put the ball anywhere it needs to be. Those far hash to the sidelines on a 25-yard comeback, just those you gotta tip your hat off to, and at the end of the day, he made us better. He made the secondary better, so very appreciative for that.
Have you met with the Buckeyes at all this week?
I have. It was informal. It was a great meeting, though. Can you start over, please?
Yeah, you played under a handful of coordinators in a few
different than safety or secondary coaching. It's not always an advantage while you're going through it in college. Is there anything about it do you think it's a beneficial experience as you make this?
Most definitely. I've told all the teams that I've met with when it comes to learning playbooks, when it comes to learning schemes, when it comes to just taking different coaching from different styles of coaching. I'm prepared for it. I'm ready for it. I've seen a new defensive scheme each year. Never had a problem learning it. Never had a problem putting it to the field. So I've definitely used it as my advantage.
How much pride do you and former teammates take on being able to stop Ohio State at the top guys?
It's an honor. I grew up a fan. So I grew up seeing this. I grew up watching the draft, knowing I was going to see about 5 to 10 guys in the combine. So for me to, represent the great university and my family back home, it's an honor.
I'm sorry if this was asked already, but being able to play with some of the top wide receivers, how did they make you better and vice versa?
I said earlier, iron sharpens iron. I think it's simple as that. Those guys push you to be your best each day in and day out. Because if you don't, that you're going to get exposed. Simple as that. Just from freshman year, going against Garrett, Jackson, now Marv and Mac, the 2 guys there. I can go down the list with everyone, but those are just some of the top guys. But they just make sure you stay on your cues, man. And they kind of make your confidence level go up just because, you're not going to see something like that come Saturday. Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, I hope teams don't really fall for it because I know it's just on the media. But that guy's a freak of nature. I think everyone can attest to that. Who better to trust than the guys going against some other guys who see him every day in practice. And if you ask anyone in that building who's been to a practice, they know the real. They know who he is as a player, who he is off the field. So it's kind of crazy that I'm hearing it, but I guess we'll see come draft day.
What is it about Jackson that makes him so hard to come?
He's very creative. He's not going to run his, whether it's a 5-yard comeback, a 3-yard slant, or a corner or a post. He's not going to run it like a normal receiver. He's going to add his own flavor and he's going to create great separation. I've rarely seen him drop a pass in my years I've watched him in practice. And you want a receiver that can do those things. We all seen his route running. We've seen his playmaking in last year in the Rose Bowl. So I think those things are just a tremendous traits to have as a receiver, and he does it at the highest level consistently day in and day out.
Along the same lines, CJ on the front.
Yeah.
What would you want to say about what makes him unique?
Yeah, I think we've seen it on the field. We've seen him make the throws, but I've seen CJ come in and to where he is now off the field, as how he is as a leader, how he leads the team, how he leads his offense specifically. It's been something special to watch. He's turned into a tremendous leader. The way he holds guys accountable, but he holds himself accountable first. But that's something you need in your quarterback. That's something you ask for, and he's been able to deliver that.
This is Garrett Jones. 2 more questions, guys.
This is Garrett Jones from BMH Sports. Of course, I know the quarterback, C.J. Stroud, 2-time offensive finalist. Do you ever get a chance to pick off some of his balls in practice?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
What did he say about it?
He got his excuses or whatever. But I call a good play a good play.
Well, hope you all can help each other.
Most definitely, yeah, for sure.
Ronnie, how do you think Stetson Bennett's game will translate to the pro level?
Yeah, I know who he is. I don't really know. I don't really know how to answer that.
Ronnie, you mentioned that talk before. You surprised he came back, and what do you expect his role to be this time?
He's going to be the guy. You guys have been around that facility. You guys have seen him play. He's going to be a guy who's coming downhill, ready to hit. He's going to be another leader in that back end that guys are going to look up to. And Josh is a playmaker. He's going to make plays when it comes down to it. Probably one of the most athletically gifted guys I've been around, especially in that safety room. So I'm super excited for him. Praying he stays healthy and everything goes well, God willing. But he has a bright future this year.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys.